Maybe this is a kind of a niche category. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna let this play, and we're gonna talk about music. Thank you, Chris, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for having me in space. Much love and gratitude. All right, so frequencies. Everything is frequencies. In music, frequencies here on our terrain are based on a pattern of recognition, just like everything is based on a pattern. Music has 12 chromatic tones. There are 12 platonic solids. There are 7 chakras, but there are 12 chakras also, right? 7 and 12. The 7 notes in a regular scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, that's 7. And then the octave, the octave, the octave, the ascension. In the 12 platonic solids, when we go from a tetrahedron to a cube to an octahedron and we move up, we get to 12. Once it goes to the next form after 12, it goes back to 1, which is 13, which is the octave. 13's never been the unlucky number. 13's always been the number. 7's not the lucky number. It's 8. 8 is the octave, the etch, the etch in Phoenician. We all have this energy field around us, and it's just wonkadoo, and everyone walks around like a bunch of assholes because we don't know what's going on. Tell me a CIA doesn't have cameras that can see a torus field. I'm not here to teach you anything. Do your homework. See that symbol low around, right? Phi. Phi. That symbol is the symbol for the torus field, which you see around. Not pi. Eddie O knows. Write this down. Hey, it's not pi. It's phi. You mean pi? 3.14? No, phi. The golden ratio. Fibonacci sequence is the creation of the symbol right here. The golden rectangle. It's a really, right? And the rectangle is the masculine. The spiral is the feminine. The canvas is the male. The painting is the female. As it goes, the two combine. And when we have our star tetrahedron, these pictures are just some wonkadoos. These are not on a slide. Yes, man, we can look at some of this stuff later. Bear with me. Hey, what's your dog's name?
That's Luna. Her and the cat are having a face-off just to the right of me. Happens a lot when we go online.
They're part of the show.
Not supposed to be, but hey, what can I do?
I like it, family. You're a good family guy. You know, Chris is a good dad. I could tell the minute I met him, I feel that there's no spiritual journey like that. Like the family is now the boys.
She's talking to you. I'm gonna get rid of her.
She's frequency. That's a frequency. So all frequencies, 12 frequencies, 7 frequencies, and representations of the pattern that is shown to us in any form there is, especially us. So there's a hole in the middle. The North Pole? Nah, the North Hole that goes in and it's
I like that.
It almost touches. Yeah. You know, it's parabolic. It almost touches. And right there in the middle, where it almost touches, that's that green center. That's that spot. And when that parabolic goes across itself, it creates that portal. And that's our 2 vortexes. 3 frequencies that can vortex, 3 frequencies. When you see where it goes down, but it goes up into nothing, but it's seamlessly integrating within itself. It's motion within itself. So on my sacred journey here, music's always been a big part of me. I've been in bands my whole life, and I used music when I got out of the hospital. I was in rough physical shape. I couldn't play guitar anymore. My fingers had such neuropathy from the alcohol. I bought a piano, and I'm like, at least I can bang out some Beatles songs and some Pink Floyd and sing along. And music, it led me to frequencies, solfeggio frequencies. And it just so happened these 7 solfeggio frequencies as resonating frequencies as 7 tones of music. And Metatron's cube immediately spoke to me. My psychic people and my crew, my people I met after the experience, and a lot of the stuff you to go to music and the representation. I can use music to explain some spirituality, and they are kind of one and the same. The pattern in anything is the same, yet we write it on straight lines, which is, you know, some Alan Watts there. It's a wiggly world. It's a wiggly world. So we have 7 solfeggio frequencies, and they all add up to 3, 6, or 9. All add up to 3, 6, or 9. That's your vortex math. I can talk about that at some point, but I do all my lives, my videos on TikTok and YouTube. And certain frequencies create a visualization of cymatics. I'm like, that is freaking cool, right? Cymatics we create in wavelengths and certain shapes, half and 1 and The ratio that we do, re, mi, fa, so, it's a second, a third minor, and the fourth and the fifth are major. So it's not really gradual. And instruments around a violin, it's not a tempered scale that we had. So different frequencies we would find, and 528, I got my tuning fork right here, of course, and we all listen to different binaural beats and healing yourself, and 432 and the frequencies and the pictures of cymatics show sacred geometry, these cymatic shapes and images through water, which you can put and do an experiment. Fun stuff. Put a little coffee in it and vibrate it. And this ratio, no matter how big or how small it gets, it's the same thing. So as above is below, as within is without. And music, being the beautiful device that it is, can resonate at frequencies and speak to us, speak a language. That's not even good enough word. Everything adds up to 3, 6, or 9 when you boil these numbers down. And so when you have one frequency interacting with another frequency, like here, like a wave, like water, how it works, it's 3D. These 2D models that we're looking at, like sacred geometry and Metatron's cube, it's a 2D representation of a 3D shape. And then we see it interact with other things, like ourselves. We're mostly water, yada yada. We can listen to frequencies, but I wanted the shortcut cheat codes for up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start for spirituality. It wasn't like I was trying to replace alcohol. It was removed to me. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. How do we do it faster? How do we use the colors, the frequency? How does the heart chakra that's green at 639 and a green and the different stone and what note and what color and what resonance, what all these different things can represent this frequency, this vibration? 7 planets. What's the alignments? Where is it? Can we read these vibrations? Do we have these 7 chakras in us? Yeah, they're called our feelings. There's 7 chakras and they each have a feeling. And that's our psychic power. That is our telepathic abilities. How you feel, I know how you feel because I feel it too. Feelings transfer to people, but we're told not to use them. But when we can recognize these feelings as frequencies, which in fact they are, and can be altered and utilized through frequencies, mudras, words, I am mindful, I am abundance. E, ah, oh. You guys know the other ones like I am, I see, I believe. And it's a spiral. Not a big fan on the get out of your lower chakra thing because, of course, it's fractal and it's all is as one. Lam, vam, ram, yam, ham, oma. Those colors, green in the middle, again, the heart chakra, it doesn't go up. That's our resting place. So when we go there, we always have the moment to change back to mindful. And that's where we find our balance with a Merkaba can spin, right? Our top of the tetrahedron and the bottom of a tetrahedron spin, female, down like a V, up, triangle, masculine. And when those two things interact, they create the bi-bowl. Bible, the bi-bowls are the two halves of the vortex to create that inner center of the parabolic middle ground of that heart space. That's where it comes from. And the other interactions with our other chakras have resonance in a song when played in tandem, an awareness of when to play and not to play. The space between the notes is the music. Outer space, it's a bunch of nothing and then stuff. And the nothing is classified as nothing. The space between music, that's nothing. Our eyes are projectors and cameras, right? Our perception does create our reality. And music and things can alter our reality. And our environments can change where we're at. Shitty people, crappy drunk mother that I'm living with. She had a stroke a couple years ago, and it all worked out perfect. God bless, I'm sober and I can help her out now. But it's tough, man. People suck. I suck. We all do. But it's the ratio. See how far down we go. It's still the same thing over and over again. So here we go. I'm looking around the world. This stuff's really good. And I stumble across churches and I see a window that kind of looks like this. What's this? It's a magnetron, right? Get a little bigger here. And a magnetron is a device that pushes, it pumps resonant frequencies in and out of cavities. That picture on the left does not kind of look like a rib cage? Kind of does. Are we? Wait a minute. So we're something. And I see this shit, and I'm like, bam, churches. What's up, churches? These are cool. And what do I? Oh yeah, look at all these sacred geometrical things. What if they are like making a vlog and like this is like when I started out my looking at this stuff. I'm like, yeah, so that one's that one. maybe they got these different ways to do stuff, and we go in these churches and we get healed. Then you go on, and besides admiring the beauty of the rose windows and the structure,
Mhm.
when you see them on the scale and the gratitude of them, you start to see something a little bit different. Get ready for this dramatic drum roll pause, because this happened to just remind me of something when I was looking at it, and I'm like, I figured out. I know what this thing is. I know what this whole thing is. What is this thing? This is, big know-it-all. I think I know what I'm talking about. And we change our ideas every day. So right now, so where I was at was quite the epiphany. All right, here it comes. My favorite part of the presentation. Doesn't it remind you of? There it is. That. Does that not
Mhm.
remind you of that? A baffle
Yeah.
and a speaker and a cone and something that pushes frequency out of a resonant chamber. And it's got the holes in the back and creates a surrounding a chamber. Okay, so here's a factory of resonance. This building has a purpose to resonate frequencies. I sang in a chorale in college. I was a classically trained musician, and we sang in Ireland and we sang in Spain. Sang in St. Patrick's Cathedral. Sorry, just to do some adjustments there. And the chamber music for parts of the church, the organs on the other side of the church, and it goes across. There's buildings that we see in Congress and municipal and civic buildings where you can whisper and they'll hear you just in certain parts of the room, right? Because the sound resonates frequencies and it moves. It's a movable device. You can do things with sound. So these things are all beautiful, and then we finding this vaulted ceiling.
Oh,
So the vaulted ceiling is the crown, like our cranium. We have a vaulted ceiling on our head, right? So if we are same as above is below, within without, we are also this. So if we're built on a pattern, this is built on a pattern. Our sacred geometry is built right up in here, in our head. And it's inside. This is what the inside of our brains actually look like. Is that right? No, that's probably not true. But we see this, and this is all built with patterns upon patterns. All crazy? No, it's not. It is built on that flower of life, the seed of life, the
wow.
7 chakras, which is four. The base is four for the 4 petals of the sacred first chakra. And it goes up petals to each of the 7 chakras. And when it gets to 12, 12 times 12 is the 144,000. The 144,000 petals on the flower of life is where we get our 144,000 members of the choir, our light members of such and such. And these are pretty mild photos here for this presentation, and we know how awesome and epic some of these pictures can get, like can of
Mhm.
Star Wars. But the amount of effort, the design, the work, and the reason behind this was adorned, but there was a more of a reason, and this thing was ringing. What's that, guys? Anyone in the comments know what that is? You get a free Patreon subscription if you know what this is. These things are the basement. Do you know what it is, Chris?
This is, yeah. This is the cooling at
Now,
the base of the building.
underneath the church here,
Yeah.
in this water, it's called a cistern. You've heard
Cistern.
of
Okay.
cistern, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there'd be water underneath where they what get holy water. Nah, no, it's not holy water. So there's cisterns in churches where the bottom level underneath the open speaker, there's a cistern. We have cisterns in our mind, in our brain. If you look up cisterns on Google right now, it will tell you cisterns make a fluid. They make cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid. We know the 33, how we go down and up Jacob's ladder. This ain't that class today. On the first floor, we have templates and blueprints of how this looks. And then oftentimes we see in this first floor this symbol. We've seen this symbol in Radio Shack, right? It's like a circuit board, or what's it, that resonant thing like that? This path. Oh, that looks like the thing from the movie Pet Cemetery, right? When they had to walk around and walk back out with the white stones, don't go in there.
Oh yeah.
This pattern is the labyrinth, right? This labyrinth. It is the way in is the way out, and the way out is the way in. It's an awesome word. Today's word, everyone from Edio knows, is circumambulation. That's right. Circumambulation is the breath in, is the breath out. Right? So is there a break? between the octave when it goes? No, it just ascends from 7 to that octave. We're at that point now where we're next to the octave. It's called the leading tone in music. When we're at the leading tone and then it resolves at the octave, or it does not. So choose to resolve. We're right there on the leading tone. And the way in is the way out. So don't feel like you're going further and further deeper because it's just the same way out. It's all one. It's not long, it's not short. So that is the pattern. Anyways, I think it would be worked into this building's principle as a machine, which we are also based on sort of. So we're looking at these energy things, and we've got shout out to Lucas Aurelian. Everyone loves Lucas Aurelian. You are my goat, finial. We like to have finial. I did look up etymology on Phineas in Ferb to find out that Phineas is not connected to finial in any way. But I did find out that they're stepbrothers, they're half brothers. They have different fathers, Phineas and Ferb. And Ferb was the more controlled one. He lived there with the parents. And Phineas lived with a different family. And his father was different than the parents that had. So I'm like talking to AI. I'm like, oh, this is why he's always excited to do stuff. It's summer vacation. And so Ferb was already home. And they never talked about it. I don't remember seeing that episode. Do you remember seeing that episode? We don't need to have a lesson on this and how this works with the stories. We've got great creators out there like Cultivate, Elevate. We've got a lot of people that talk about the ethereal dipole, but trees do this too. Everything does this. Oh, they didn't have to pay electric bills. It must have been great. They just got free electricity bills. Yeah, it's great. But you start doing some look-loo on some of these buildings and the amount of finials. I don't think this was all to collect. I think this was a different environment. I think it was not on a time construct. Perhaps it was the 1,000-year millennial reign where the environment was different. So this is Wardenclyffe Tower, right? Just like the pyramid, underneath this, there is a waterway, a cistern, moving water under the pyramid, and moving water underneath Wardenclyffe Tower is negative ions, right? Negative electrical ions. In the sky is positive electrical ions, and they meet in the middle. So you pull in the positive, negative ions. They come from the water moving negative ions through the earth. And then in the middle, fucking bang, bang, we got halls of Amente and all kinds of cool stuff going on, right? That's the middle. That's where the stuff comes and goes from. You can put it there. You can give it to God. You can take from God. You can serve. You know what's right. You know how it feels. So this is a machine, right? Some giant machine that creates some kind of energy, and it's got a top and it's got a bottom. And we, to heal, that's what we all want to do, right? We want to heal so we can heal others. We're all healers. That's why we're all watching this. I love you guys very much, by the way. And we resonate with the pyramid when we were younger. This sang to us. This sang to us. There's something to know. Your Baghdad batteries, it's like these technology. There's more to it. There's even way more to it. More and more and more to it. And there's so many probably different variations on more to it. Who's to say that all the evidence we have is even part of one? Anyways, yet I digress. As we have the capstones of these removed, often like our cathedrals have their copper domes, and they're either green from being, tarnished or whatever, patinaed, or they're painted or removed, so the top part doesn't work. Often said that the tops of the pyramid don't have that because they took off the on and off button. As we know, many cathedrals also have the top button up there. And this is a sound factory machine. What do they do to turn this thing on? Like a jump, like a pull start for a lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a giant bell, right? I'm like, oh, these giant bells.
Mm.
And that's what really turned me on to Mudflood and Tartaria.
Interesting.
Because once I started looking at the pictures of these bells, and I was on TikTok and I was talking about, shadow work, music, playing guitar and singing and doing what I had to do the work to heal. And I saw bells. I'm like, there's a lot of bells. Organs.
Mm-hmm.
These organs were made during the time of this building. Nephilim, our Nephilim kin ship, whatnot. We do know now, if you didn't, Nephilim had 6 fingers, right?
Yeah.
Nephilim has 6 fingers. So they're playing these organs. And if you don't know that these organs have foot pedals and 3 or more, and they often have assistance. I do have a video that we can maybe play if we want at some point, or I'll put it up it's on my YouTube channel. Might as well subscribe while you're there. Hit that bell so when Eddie O goes live, you don't miss it. I do appreciate it. And it's someone playing the Exorcist theme, and they have people turning the pages or pulling these pistons and plugs with all these different sounds. So it's like you see two people now playing contemporary versions of Bach and Handel where they need two people, like someone to flip the page because you literally couldn't flip a page, right? But maybe with these extra appendages similes. So we know the story. We've done our homework. If you're not doing homework, please join the research of all the stuff because once we all get caught up, we can discuss something fresh because I feel like we're at a precipice. So these bells were like the on-off button, you know, and it's got all messed up. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I found out the 432 hertz, they changed it to 440 because it didn't sit well. And then I was like, that's fucked up. That's the worst thing ever. Rothschild 13 families, the other new boot. I was mad. I was the first time I was ever mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, they screw with us, man. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm a musician. I'm like, man, they heard music that's messed up. I'm renting these buildings, looking at these doors. And you know what, guys? I'll tell you something about these doors. These ain't our mother's doors. These are not our doors. This is not our houses. These are not our buildings. These ones aren't, anyways. I think I've pretty seen, at least us included, like more than like 3 different civilizations or like, man, I don't want to go off on a tangent, digress. That is my presentation. I am Eddie O Nose. Look at these big ass doors and the, you know, knocking on the door. The hey, got a picture with the dinosaur. Hey, hey, cool guys. All right, I'm gonna put this off and we'll. Jeez, man, so beautiful though.
Yeah, that's amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, and these, like I said, are pretty modest. So, Chris, thank you for the time and space. Please retort, reflect. Give me a little bit of time to set up the audio and see if I have to go with the plan B to get the chat going, and we'll do some digging. And we'll just pick some places. We'll go some asylums. We can someone in the chat if they want to suggest a town or a city. We can break it down. And if you would, please take the mic, my friend.
Do you want me to pull the screen down, or can I just leave it while you do your thing?